Yeah, so a lot of physical damage burst between Rally and Deadwood, and this looks like a solo Rally who's walking into tri-lane territory in the bottom lane. And then we've got a Forsaken Deadwood Andro tri-lane top looking to potentially find a Meraxis. Actually, no. Meraxis looking like he's setting up for the 1v1 versus Rally in the bottom lane. So, just touch on that really quick. How do you like that 1v1 matchup? Who wins? Who's got the advantage?
That's I mean, I personally like Meraxis, but
What I'm saying is, I think if you were to go dual lane versus this Defiler, she still kind of gets what she needs to. She can play really safe and kind of do a decent job with the creep score by utilizing Wave of Death and still kind of get that level advantage. Yeah, Torture will get a creep advantage, but he'd be at a level disadvantage, and maybe it comes out to be even in the end, even though you committed 2 heroes against the Defiler. So because she can always bounce back. I mean, Wave of Death is just such a nice natural creep farming ability as soon as she gets like level 5 and beyond. So
I feel like
I
these two
think that
mid heroes have such a same role. Like they burst, they push towers. I was about to say they fly, but that's not relevant. But like, no, but they push towers and stuff, and then you have the Nymph and the Andro counter for each other, and then you have FA and CD. Like it's such clear roles on everyone. There's no question what everybody has to do and what they want to do.
Okay. Well, we have this tri-lane in the top lane of Andro, Deadwood, FA versus Magnum for a Corrupted, and one of the things I like about Corrupted Disciple in the tri-lane is how strong Electric Tide is. Electric Tide is just, it's not a disable like the crippling volleying from Forsaken Archer, but when it goes off in the midst of a tri-lane encounter, I mean, it's almost guaranteed to be hitting 2, maybe even 3 heroes. And that type of damage spread really kind of makes a difference, because once abilities go out, like you just saw it right there, right?
Yep,
Electric
a lot of
Tide,
damage.
just connected on all 3 of those heroes, and pushed all 3 of them back. And a lot of times, what happens in these fights is after abilities go out, there's not necessarily a clean kill inside of a stun lock. It just kind of a little chase down with auto attacks, and when you have an item or an ability like Electric Tide putting damage onto every hero, it really makes all of the players on the other side think twice about committing too far for the chase to secure the kill, because they can all be turned on since they got low. So
I saw this scenario last game though with FA in a lane versus Corrupted in a tri-lane, and last game FA lost it. Right?
Oh yeah, FA absolutely got punished in the tri-lane, but she came back with Torture, getting siphoned over the mid lane, gets his bottle, going to be able to pick up this Invis rune. Defiler almost had his own bottle. So Torturer, how did Torturer end up getting his bottle first? Just having a better time CSing 12-0 versus 10-1.
Is it that big of a difference? Yeah, Defiler is sending it out now. Okay,
Yeah, 100 gold difference, but Defiler's gonna have it to be able to gen up. But the fact that Torturer was able to get it, replenish himself with it, and then pick up a rune, he definitely has an advantage in the mid lane, noticeable advantage. So we'll see how it goes forward. Probably not going to see him use this Invis as an early ganking tool. Actually, he is going to kind of threaten to push forward on Defiler. Misses the stun. The Siphon Soul comes out, so Defiler pushing forward on Torturer. Yeah, okay. So Defiler with a slightly favorable trade there. Torturer, one of the things I like seeing about Torturer played as well is, okay, hold that thought, is we have a missed Lava Surge in the top lane. Andromeda and Deadwood connect their abilities onto Magnus, but Magnus is in a steam bath right now and is not going to take any additional pressure, and so both teams just walking away from that one. But if I can return back to my thought about Torture, one of the things I love about this hero, I mentioned, how versatile he is in terms of items, but there's definitely a case to be made for every leveling path for the skills. But Magnus taking a lot of heat, but both teams just shy away from committing to the kill. So looking for better spots on both sides. But you see what I'm saying with Torture, right? So he's actually going the agonizing bonds route, maxing that ability versus Defiler, which I like. But Defiler running into Meraxis at the bottom lane, but Rally is here with boots. Meraxis has boots as well. Going to be able to walk away from this one, but took a ton of, or put a ton of heat out on Defiler, who I believe was denied a rune by Meraxis, but not 100% sure. Didn't see it.
Yeah, the combo from Torture is so much damage.
Okay, so Magnus going to connect that stun onto Deadwood. Tanks the pod, so Magnus and Nymphora able to put in some auto attacks and finish off Squad Bomb for the Bloodlust. So the Bloodlust comes out in favor of the Corrupted Disciple lane again. So, same exact story unfolding that we saw last game. Forsaken Archer's tri-lane having a bit of a rough start, but if last game is a lesson, we know that that is not going to be the full story if this thing goes the way it does. But Defiler pushing onto Torture with the Siphon Soul, has the Unholy Expulsion active.
Oh no.
Stun from Torture is able to come out, able to mitigate the push forward from Defiler. Regening up. Lava Surge connects onto Andromeda. Nymphora with the line stun connects on 2. Pod is out, saves Magnus, finishes Andromeda, and now Deadwood taking auto attacks. One more ought to do. Corrupted Disciple now taking damage from the tower, but Magnus puts the stun on FA, and now it is a triple kill, finishing off the entire Hellborn tri-lane, and the Legion tri-lane just walks away. 4-0 in this lane now. This is spelling trouble. Yes, please. What is your thought?
Do they... Yeah, they are doing that. In my head, I was like, do they just go back into the lane now and keep playing it? Or do they swap it out a bit and try to, like, make a gank on the Torture, make a gank on the Meraxis? Like, what?
You wonder.
What's the plan here? Like,
Rally here is in the mid lane, eyeing down Torturer in front of the tower. But Torturer seems to smell a rat, just not getting close to this creep wave at all. Not sure if he saw Rally pick up that rune. Rally must have picked it up from the bottom lane. Must have caught wind of a rotation from Meraxis. And they are going... Rally is deep on Torturer. Gives him an auto attack, gets stunned. Torturer, not going to bite.
Just pokes him.
But meanwhile, you know, Meraxis getting a lot of free farm now that Rally's not here, but Rally is porting back. The Unholy Expulsion comes out. Defiler putting tons of pressure on this tower again. Torture... It feels like Torture kind of has these types of games where, you know, he's a strong mid laner, but just not quite as strong as Defiler. And especially with that assistance from Rally, you know, Torture just has a slight disadvantage. But yeah, Meraxis is now flanking Defiler. Siphon Soul comes out. The push, and yeah, in the top lane, a lot of stuff happening. Forsaken Archer is going to fall. The Rotten Grass connects on 2, and Magnus will end up falling to Andromeda. So, Denava Brigada now on the board. And they are not finished as Deadwood puts in some auto attacks and maybe a log throw onto Nymphora, who gets healed up by the pod, but she is getting surrounded by 3. A nice Rotten Grasp is going to slow her retreat, or it gets cancelled by the log throw, and she is finished off. Defiler porting back to the mid lane. Torture waiting on the top rune, picks up a haste. Eyeing down the top lane now. They are not aware of the fact that he has top rune. Rotten Grass catches Magnus, but Torture pushing forward. He has to be careful. Does not want to get caught in a stun lock underneath this tower. He does not have very much HP. Playing very, very conservative despite having haste speed. Puts the finishing touches onto that Deadwood. Magnus picks up the kill. But in the meantime, Defiler putting a lot of auto attacks, and now the ulti comes out in this mid tower. And might not take it this way. Might not take it this wave, but certainly going to be put close to deny range. And this is a big tower this early on in the game, sub 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Magnus is behind Defiler. Now, if they don't do this right, Defiler's got the ulti for 7 more seconds. She is going to put the finishing touches on the tower, takes it, but Magnus is here. But if they decide to try and put damage on Defiler and she gets healed up by the spirits, that would have been not the ideal situation, but they are not going to push forward on her.
Yeah, it's very important. Oh, bottom. Yeah, just some casual damage onto the rally. But the mid tower is so extremely important. It opens up so much, and especially this early, like at 10 minutes, tower is down and the on tower is almost full HP, and she's just chasing down this torch. She even taunted him.
Just realizing that he's in that lane bully position. Torture just can't seem to make anything happen. You know, about 100 GPM difference between those two heroes. Magnus very cleverly positioned. Disjoints the stun, and the nice double stun is going to connect. And Andromeda falls very quickly. Very beautiful play from Magnus, disjointing that Comet stun, getting a Lava Surge stun on 2. Now Deadwood very low. Forced to hide here. Pulling out a Defiler rotation. Who might run into 2 if he's not careful. Make that 3. But deciding he's not going to. Pops the Unholy Expulsion. And pops the smoke, and now Nymphora is able to sidestep the stun. And now here's the Unholy Expulsion. Nymphora getting chased by a Defiler. In the meantime, we do have a kill onto Deadwood. Defiler is going to find that kill on Nymphora. He's going to try and bump himself into Defiler. Takes a stun from Torturer. Magnus. Lava Surge, but gets sniped by the Wave of Death inside of the Steam Bath. Some very important kills coming out from Nova Brigada. And Defiler, little snowball machine he is, gets 2 of them. He's 3-0, 417 GPM, top farmer of the game. Puppet Soul with a commanding lead on this Defiler. How is this going to change the game? You know, they lost again, right? Oh, I missed it on bottom, I'm so sorry. But Rally gets a very big kill on Axis. Very nice. Level 10.
They were just high-fiving around the tower for so long, and then finally gets that kill off.
And you know, it's one of those things where, yeah, Busk no GG wins their tri-lane pretty handily, but the solo lanes, on the other hand, are heavily favored for Nova Brigada, and we saw exactly what Puppet Soul can do when he has a strong lead to control the pace of the game and just, you know, allow that space. But here we go, Andromeda and Magnus toe to toe, and Andromeda gets sniped out by that Nymphora fairy.
Yeah, Andrew swapped Forsaken out of it, so Andrew died instead of the Forsaken, which is, I mean, he's fine with that.
Yeah, okay, Defiler pops the ulti, stun comes out on Deadwood. Deadwood taking a lot of damage, gets a stun lock, but here's Nymphora just getting ran down by these spirits. And Magnus as well, gonna get caught. Do we have the Grave Silence? No, it's not up, but the damage able to finish Magnus off before he could port home. So another double kill for Defiler, and watch out, Torture, you're next. Hasted Rally, Compel, Seismic Slam is gonna miss. Torture putting a lot of damage, able to take out Forsaken Archer before he falls himself, so turning a bad situation into a not so bad one, getting a kill back despite being 2v1. Defiler making push potential happen out of this top lane now. Clearing waves, getting close to level 11. Rally is level 11, first level 2 ulti in the game. And very, very close to a portal key on Rally, so this is going to be interesting. First portal key of the game will be on Rally with a, how much, let me do some quick math. Looks like about an 800 damage kill combo between his 2 abilities.
Right.
The world is his oyster, able to, yep, the top lane. Deadwood's getting caught out by Nymphora and Magnus. Deadwood taking auto attacks, able to walk away.
That pod is so strong, dude.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like a lot more than 80 damage. But it's the fact that it's AoE too, and it heals your team, so it's such, like, even if it's just 80 damage.
No, it's well, it's 80 damage per second that is on the ground, right? So it can go up to 240 healing and damage. So
that's why it's so much. Yeah.
Well, let me see. Actually, I think it goes up even higher because it says the base value is 40, and then it
3 seconds.
Yeah. Okay, Magnus puts the stun out on Defiler, who's taking a lot of damage, but he's got the spirits up. Defiler is going to fall, so they put a stop to Defiler for now. Very important kill that they find on Defiler.
I think that's a miscommunication. I think Puppet was up there to help out and get some stuff done in the lane, and then team is not there. Or, you know, he didn't realize or anything. That looked like miscommunication to me. Because he kind of just walked in there. Thought he had backup, didn't. That's unfortunate, because he was their, like, top farmer.
Okay,
is their top
we
farmer.
gotta keep our eyes on bottom lane. Torture being very patient here. Magnus gonna stun in. Decided not to start the eruption. I feel like we were gonna see that, but the port from Corrupted Disciple and Nymph are gonna catch Rally on his escape, and he is gonna end up falling. There it is.
Another high value kill.
And we see why they're picking Nymphora. You know, these well-timed teleports. Okay, here we go. Deadwood takes a stun. Pod's gonna finish him off. Defiler is here with the ulti coming up in 9 seconds. Forced to back away, but buying a little bit of space now for Forsaken Archer to put the finishing touches on a Whispering Helm, but perhaps at the cost of this tier 2 bot tower. All 5 heroes for the Legion are here. Defiler trying to do what she can to push them away, but it looks like it is going to be a fallen tower. So this is a big tower kill. Extending the gold lead up to 5,000 for Busk no GG. And Meraxes has his own portal key. We've got a start on the light brand for Corrupted Disciple, going the exact same item route as he did last game. What does Defiler go? I'm interested in seeing what Defiler goes. He's got 1,100 gold saved up. Pops Unholy Expulsion with a smoke right here. Looking to bump into Meraxes, who gets Compel Stun, Seismic Slam, and just bam, dead. Comboed down. That's it. And now they are in pursuit. They've got their eyes on Torturer. Nymphora is there to help, but Torturer, a little slow, but a nice Nymphora's Zeal is going to put a stop to the pursuit. But for how long, as Rally compels forward with the portal key, connects everything onto Torturer with the Rotten Grasp, and he is going to fall. So 2 quick kills for the Hellborn side, taking away a bit of that momentum that we saw accumulating on the Legion side. Meanwhile, Forsaken Archer finishes that Whispering Helm, that very, very important farming item. Able to start his snowball, currently at 330 GPM. We were in the exact same situation last game, where Corrupted Disciple had a big lead in the GPMs, right? But just not able to maintain it over Forsaken Archer for forever, just because of how strong that hero is. But Magnus gets silenced, Rotten Grass, but everybody's here. They're making a stand, trying to defend this tower. The Compel misses. He goes in hard. Magnus with the stun, but Andro swaps him out. Andro is going to end up falling, but Meraxes with the double stun in the back. Deadwood in the front line is going to fall. The pod just heals everybody up. Double crippling volley is going to connect, but Forsaken Archer gets stunned by Magnus and Torture. Ends up falling. Rally pushes forward, catches Torture, falls himself, and it's a huge 4-for-1 swing. A Puppet Soul on Defiler, just going in hard with the Unholy Expulsion. A one-man army on Defiler. Gets stunned out by Magnus, puts the finishing touches on Magnus, and will fall himself. So all is said and done. It's a 5-for-2. Corrupted Disciple lives. They take out the high value Defiler and Forsaken Archer. Well, everybody. Yeah.
The high value team.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but yeah, that's just disaster. In all honesty, it feels so bad too, because you thought you had a chance. Like, okay, they're pushing our tower. Let's try to counter and get some kills here. And then they get the Torture, and then they just all die. And it's oof, it feels so bad.
And we see a Storm Spirit picked up by Defiler, so didn't have any of that in the last fight. So, you know, all things being the same again, you know, maybe the fight will be different, but, you know, they did end up holding the tower, but for how long? As the creeps are there, they use fortification to defend it, so it looks like they want to set up and try again. So, looks like we might see a replay of last fight, but maybe with a different outcome. Nope, just a denied tower.
That was anticlimactic.
Yeah. But Forsaken Archer got some stacks to farm here in the jungle.
Ooh, look at that.
But here we go, a Legion Kongor attempt, and I missed this kill on Magnus, who was very, very close to Portal Key.
That also
1,700 gold. Yeah. But it is what it is. He's able to secure the space for his team to finish off Kongor, so it gets a little bit of that gold back. And Hellborn with the same idea, with the Defiler ulti up for 25 seconds, putting a lot of damage into Kongor.
It's also such a fascinating thing. Like the last time I played Han for real, there was only one Kongor, right? And he was down in the pit. And the concept now of having two of them, which means if the other team takes it, you kind of have to take yours to secure, not for yourself, but so they don't take it, right? And yeah, I mean, it's just such a funky or like fascinating concept in itself.
Well, it's not even so much of so they don't take it. I mean, it's kind of like the running timer, right? You got to get the timers to match, because not only is there the threat of them taking your Kongor so that the token spawns, but you know, the nature of the stacking buffs, right?
Yeah,
I feel
exactly,
like it's a big factor, right? So
you kind of force your enemy. Like when there was only one Kongor, by taking Kong, you would force a fight in general, because they would have to try to stop you or do something else. So you're kind of forcing something, and now you're forcing something completely different. Because if they take it, you have to take it, because as you said, the stack buff. It's just, I don't know, just thinking about it, it's kind of...
Forsaken Archer commits the ulti to the wave to just try and limit the amount of damage this tier 3 tower is taking. And, you know, okay. I got some time to talk about items here. You know, we've already got the portal key on Magnus now, just finished it. Portal key on Meraxis as well, but here, hold that thought, we've got a Defiler caught in the Legion jungle. Just surrounded by 5 heroes. Dead.
What was he doing?
Just farming, maybe a little bit too greedily, you know?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, Magnus and Rally. Rally just gonna Seismic Slam Compel on top of Deadwood. That's a dead Magnus.
He does have his PK though. Deadwood is looking to get a PK as well.
Rally with the triple stun. Puts a lot of damage on the Torturer as well. Gets slammed down by the Torturer, gonna fall very quickly. Defiler with the buyback, pushing forward. Can she catch another? Nymphora gets walked into by Andromeda, but no ability to swap or Comet Stunner out of the port. Able to walk away, but Defiler with the Unholy Expulsion for 15 seconds, looking to deal some damage to this tier 2 tower.
Yeah, they have, like, as you said, he committed his buyback. He has to do something with it.
Right.
They get a kill on Torture, but like that's not enough for a buyback in general. And they're gonna get it to half HP. It's pretty good, all things considered.
Right. But the Legion side is ready to defend and forces in the back, but yeah, not exactly what you want to see or what you want to have happen if you're Defiler. You know, you had this massive lead and just kind of getting shut down at this point. So, you know, kudos to Busk No GG for making that happen, because this was a very strong Defiler early in the game. Looks very scary. But, you know, with that in mind, you know, Defiler's doing a good job taking heat away from Forsaken Archer, who's still up to 400 GPM despite having that horrible start in that tri-lane. So, Forsaken Archer just getting a little bit of space. Okay, Magnus looking to line up a stun here. Yeah, forcing him to back, but the creeps were already farmed. They are going to get this tier 2 tower in the mid, so good tower pickup.
I wish they would try to get out of the base on the Hellborn side. Like, they can't just sit there. Like, bottom is free. How much do they know of where people are? They have a ward there. They saw everybody move top. I mean, they're gonna follow, maybe make a fight happen with the final ulti, but
There's just one.
Someone bottom.
You know, I think part of the fright is the fact that they don't necessarily know where they have wards, and it's just the presence of this Nymphora port, right?
Yeah, sure.
You never want to be spotted alone. You know, it kind of happened in the Legion jungle earlier to Defiler, so
you're gonna find her now though, top.
Yeah, Nymphora.
Or are they?
Nymphora, this is just some clever tree juking, able to port away, and Defiler. Defiler, potentially in no man's land over here. No, your team is next to you. Hasted Defiler now with the ulti up.
No. Now that they know that she has the ulti up, yeah, they're gonna dodge. Legion's just like, okay, well, they're gonna push top, we're gonna push bottom. They have no towers, outer towers, actually. I just realized Hellborn has no outer towers at all. That's why the gold lead is so big.
Yeah, but you know, in situations like these where the game is not, it's definitely not over at this point. We call towers like this money in the bank. You know, just wait to be later.
Money towers.
Yeah, because Forsaken, I mean, they have a pretty good uphill defense, all things considered, here on the Legion side, or Hellborn side rather. You know, they've got the Rotten Grasp, the Aurora, the Waves of Death, the Crippling Volleys. You know, they've got a nice little uphill defense, and not a whole lot of pushing power on the Legion side until they get more items on Corrupted Disciple. So they're going to be able to hold for quite a while, and it seems like that might be the ticket that they need to, you know, just make sure that Forsaken Archer is able to get back into the game and take it over like she did in the second match.
I guess that's what they're just hoping for right now. Like, what else can they do? He bought a PK on the Defiler? Is that what I just saw?
Maybe. I will say the difference here that was not present last game, from the perspective of FA, is you're going against an Nymphora now as well. So farming the map is considerably harder because you're always under the threat of walking under a ward that you didn't know was there, and then just getting a surprise port, because they've got 3 PKs over there on the Legion side. And between those 3 PKs, a lot of damage, a lot of stun lock, and you just easily get caught with your pants down.
Yeah, kind of just looking. Like, look at the Corrupted has 709. Having a great time, almost 500 GPM. Sitting on a Dawnbringer. His beloved Astrolabe and Sackstone.
We've seen time and time again where, you know, players have these leads, they have these starts, they have these item timings, and it really just comes down to one unfortunate context where they just get picked out, or the team fight just doesn't go their way, and bam, it's the turning point, and the other team has all the momentum. Okay, here's the port from Nymphora. Where's it going? It's going to catch Defiler. They're right next to the Hellborn team. This is what I'm talking about. They might get this Defiler. She lives for a little bit, but are all 3 of these heroes on the Legion side dead? Corrupted Disciple takes the Comet Stun, the Deadwood Punch will end up falling. So they trade Defiler for Corrupted. So you're talking about 7-0 Corrupted Disciple. Make that 7-1. There could be the momentum shift that I'm talking about.
Yeah, for sure.
It's you know, they thought they had it. They thought they caught this Defiler out. That ward, if you look at the vision provided from this ward,
it didn't show
out the lone Defiler, but it didn't show the Kongor, or actually it shows part of the Kongor pit, I think.
It shows part of the Kongor pit, but it doesn't show like behind it.
Exactly. And
so that's where they were.
Unfortunate reality that they poured it into the Defiler, but they poured it into the team as well.
Poured it into their death. Pretty much.
Now the Kongor is back up. So are we going to see a Kongor trade here? Corrupted Disciple?
Both teams are also so careful, because like whoever loses now drops to the loser bracket, so nobody wants that. So everybody's just super careful. So it becomes this like waiting game, and like, do we do this? Do we do that? What do we do?
And Andromeda now has a bound eye, so you know, trying to regain some of that map control. Very, you know, what I mentioned earlier about you know, surprise wards just offering the information that Legion needs to get you with a surprise teleport. Okay, hold that thought as we have Defiler pushing hard forward. A double stun from Rally is going to catch, but Meraxes stops the seismic slam, but Torture in the front line is going to fall very quickly, and Deadwood takes an eruption, so it's 1-for-1 so far, but Corrupted Disciple and Magnus are on top of Forsaken Archer, but Forsaken Archer gets the shrunken head off, but Defiler falls as well, so it's carry for carry, and now Nymphora going to end up falling, and Defiler is there with the Unholy Expulsion, and Meraxes with no mana being pushed forward by Rally, who's got the Compel up in 2, 1, stun, dead.
That was insane for Hellborn.
Were there any buybacks? No, no buybacks.
No buybacks, no nothing. They just won the fight fair and square. Even though Magnus had like a pretty good ulti. He was sitting out and waiting, got it off, got to jump in with it, and they only killed Forsaken and the Deadwood, and then they lost everyone.
Yeah, and that's kind of the strength of this dual core, dual carry, as it were, lineup. You know, Defiler had this, okay, here comes the port. This is going to catch them off guard, potentially. We've got... Nope, Corrupted Disciple's going to get spotted. Gosh, they were so close to making something happen right there. Just didn't have the information of where they were as they went to the fog of war. But what I'm seeing here is the trouble of playing against two of these heroes that can carry. You know, Defiler just has this natural damage source now that he's level 16. And he had such a great start that he's almost always going to be a formidable force to be reckoned with in this game. And then, you know, if you ignore him, you got to deal with FA. If you ignore Defiler, you got to deal with Defiler. You know, it's just... they don't have the tools on the Legion side, it seems, to be able to take on both inside of a team fight. They got to pick one or the other.
Yeah.
They are going to trade Kong for Kong again here.
I haven't seen this Meraxes presence as much as I thought I would.
He has a finished Hellflower now too. That's a big item.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whenever I see Meraxes, I'm like, oh, that's a good hero. He can do so much and he can control so much. And then he's just, I don't know. I thought I would see him initiate more, but I feel like maybe it's because they're always getting initiated on, so he never really gets to do that.
Yeah, I wasn't able to see. I mean, so much has happened in such a short space of time that I can't even remember who started that fight off and who got caught or whatever. But Meraxes is a very strong initiator. He kind of reminds me of Electrician in the way that he's just so damn tanky whenever he decides to go on whoever it is. Popping the shield. And
yeah, for sure. The Defiler was the one that instigated the last fight. He just jumped in. He literally PK'd in onto them. I was like, hello. He didn't care. That was a very baller move. And I think the way that he did it is what kind of caught the Legion off guard. They were like, oh, there's a Defiler on us. And I don't know. I think it's just a confidence move. It was so good. So good. I like it.
He can kind of do that with his ulti up, right?
Yeah.
Since he has the Storm Spirit, he can PK in just on top of them and just Storm Spirit himself, still dealing damage with the Unholy Expulsion. And
I don't think he even had the ulti on. He was close to having it ready because he used it later in the fight, right? And I don't know, he just walked into them because the Legion was routed around the bottom rune area. And then he was just like, hello, jumping in. And just caught them off guard. It's kind of a baller move, but it worked.
Right, and he's got 3k gold saved up now, so he could very easily go for something like a Shrunken Head and just make himself even that much more of a nuisance, starting things off for his team.
Sheep? Is that what you go?
I don't know. I want to see some tankiness. I want to see him be able to do the exact same thing again. You know, maybe save the Storm for somebody else, just jump in with the Shrunken Head active. But yeah, I mean, Blink Sheep, I mentioned it last game, super strong item combo.
But it did last game.
Okay, Torture jumps onto this creep wave, might get jumped on by Rally. Rally's thinking about it. He has the staff, by the way. It's a huge amount of damage. The stun misses from Magnus. Nobody's caught yet, but Defiler is in pursuit. Here comes the Seismic Slam, just going to destroy Torture all in one blast. So they get that quick kill onto Torturer. Just deciding to farm it out a little bit. Forsaken Archer going a slightly different item route this game. He's got the Quick Blade again, so we're actually going to see a Geo's Bane Forsaken this game, which I like. I really like that item on FA.
Yeah.
Yeah, in conjunction with the Split Fire and the Null Fire that's already present, it's a super strong ability. Super strong item, rather.
Item ability.
But we have a Pickled Brain picked up on Andromeda. Looks like he's going to be going for a, what is that item? Jade Spire to supplement the long range swap save.
Oh yeah, that's nice. That's very nice, yeah.
And a much better game for Sloske on Amphora this game, who has a portal key.
Yeah,
he's got a portal key too. And yes,
he had so much farm early on, but that's also how you see how far ahead you are, because your supports have farm, and that's not usually the case.
And well, you know what? Another thing that's so strong about Nymphora that might be overlooked is the fact that just as the game progresses, this hero gains the ability to flash farm between Volatile Pod and Nymphora's Zeal. As long as you're able to get levels in those, and you have the sustain from Grace of the Nymph, this hero is just able to just naturally accumulate gold for some key support items the longer the game goes. So.
They're sitting bottom. He popped the ulti on Defiler. They're gonna go.
Okay, Rally has to cancel his Seismic Slam. Tries to throw it down. Not able to get it off. Defiler in the front lines does have the Shrunken Head. Gets stunned with a perfect time stun by Nymphora. And followed up by Meraxus. Did you see the timing on this stun? She had the Shrunken Head up. Nymphora times it perfectly. Ports on her and just throws it at her as soon as the Shrunken Head buff expires. There you go. Like one item, just that positioning, picture perfect. Way to go, Sloske. I'm just
Sloske's a baller.
Love it.
He's really good at this kind of stuff. He will do anything with any hero.
Rally in the trees. Looking to maybe make a big triple stun. Seismic Slam on the back line. Deadwood goes in on Corrupted, gets stunned by Magnus. Corrupted Disciple putting on auto attacks. We saw a Seismic Slam in the back, catching a couple. Torture running away with his life. Rally is here, but we've got 2 kills coming out in favor of Corrupted Disciple. Now it's Rally. It's in no man's land. Busk no GG with the 3-0 swing, 4-0 swing rather. Eyeing down this Rax.
Yep.
Is this it? Defiler is respawning. He's alive. Has Shrunken Head. Has to wait 12 seconds on Unholy Expulsion. It's the double carry versus the full Legion lineup. See a Frostfield plate purchased on, I think, Torture. What an item.
That's good.
It's on the way out. Meraxus jumps in on Defiler. Just gonna fall very quickly. Defiler.
No buyback.
Puts in some help. Not enough. She's pushed away. Just simply too many heroes. And the Rax is definitely going to fall. I doubt we'll see a CC vote. But this is going to be a Rax in favor of Busk no GG. So a big momentum shift again. Every single time I feel like one team has got this in the bag, the other team just pulls together. I'm fully expecting the Nava Brigada to just turn this game somehow. I know it's coming.
You have faith?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. That's just the way that these games seem to go. Yeah, Legion advantage right now, but for how long? I'm just waiting.
Like, yeah, but 7k gold at this point in the game it's not that much.
Trulta, just you wait. I'm telling you. I'm sensing the pattern. I'm sensing a back and forth. These games are just ping-ponging. Okay? Ping-pong.
Yeah, no, you might be right. That's what happened last game as well. Kind of just turned it around with the Forsaken. As soon as she got the farm that she needed, she just hit them down.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, one of the things that kind of happens whenever you are a Rax up, like, yes, this is a huge advantage. One lane is on auto push. The other team isn't getting as much gold value out of the creeps that spawn on that lane. However, it changes your confidence a little bit. You know, we're a Rax up. We can play a little bit more risky, right? Something like that. Just changes your mentality slightly.
Yep.
Maybe enough for you to make a fatal error. But yeah, as we mentioned earlier, we have a Frostfield plate on Torturer. Now we have a Shroud on Corrupted Disciple, so going a different route this game. You know, what was a Wingbow in the previous game is now a Shroud. So, you know, changing up his item build ever so slightly.
Yeah,
Looks like we're probably going to go Kong for Kong again.
Yeah, it's just the same as last game. It's just farming and farming and farming. Like this time they have the racks taken down on the bottom lane there, so that makes a little bit of a difference because somebody has to keep defending that.
Yeah.
And Legion does have 3 outer towers up, so it's a little bit more of a uphill battle for the Hellborn side, but it's because they have so much push with like Defiler. If they manage to push with the ulti, and also of course Forsaken hits like a truck, she just tears through these buildings. Like whoever wins the next team fight might win the game.
Oh yeah, that's like why I feel like one rack's like, yes, it's an advantage, but at this part of the game, 40 minutes in,
yeah, it doesn't matter that much.
It's smaller than you think.
Yeah.
Because of the way that these farmed heroes can just threaten buildings so quickly. But one thing I want to say about one lane being on auto push, you know, you talk about, you know, Defiler or Forsaken Archer have some great wave clearing. Defiler going real hard on Nymphora. Tablet is down. Looks like this is a dead Nymphora.
Very
so
dead.
There we go. You know, and this is going to open up space on the map. Regardless of what happens, maybe they're going to push forward, try to make a threat on this tier 2 mid tower, which is already dangerously low. They burn fortification to save it for a little bit, but we've got Corrupted Meraxis and Magmus in the top lane, potentially eyeing this tier 3 tower in the top lane. We've got a buyback on Slaske, who is porting to the top lane, so they're deciding to make a 5-man push here, but there are ports in response from the Hellborn. Perhaps not Rally, but he is smoking.
He's going around.
If he gets there in time, he's going to be positioned very well to start things off in his team's favor, potentially. So, watch out. This is unfolding very quickly.
If he gets a good jump, this could be the...
Rally, he's got 10 more seconds on his smoke.
I don't think they see him anyway. There's no wards around. No,
correct.
No, he's in a good spot, yeah.
How many is he going to catch? The Compel catches 3. The 3-man seismic slam. It's massive. Forsaken Archer. What did I tell you, Trolte? What did I tell you? The ping pong. The ping pong is here. It's still present in the fight. Defiler dies, but Forsaken Archer with the quad kill. Genocide. One misstep, and look who's in the driver's seat again.
The power of the ping pong.
Yeah. Didn't you know that we're actually playing Pong? After all these years.
Pong, yeah.
No, not ping pong. We're playing Pong. This is Pong. First video game. After all these years, still relevant. Just back and forth. That's all it is.
Fantastic.
Especially with players this skilled. It's Pong. That's what we're playing here.
Oh, but that was just fantastic.
That was beautiful.
Positioning from the rally. That was so good. He just
yeah.
instantly killed the Nymphora, who is their healer and just background keeping people alive kind of hero, and then just catching them so much off guard because you get scared, right?
But look at this. Not able to, you know, they won the team fight so far away from the Legion base that they weren't able to capture an objective, even with that massive victory. But you know, just buying time for Forsaken Archer, who now has the Wingbow, and no doubt going to be going towards the symbol if given enough time. And you know, all things being equal, we've seen the power of this Forsaken Archer carry. Good grief. This is still anybody's game, but it's just looking increasingly scary for Busk No GG to clinch this victory out. Look at this. Look at this late Void Talisman picked up by a Defiler. This is an item that you usually see picked up pretty early on in the game. This is a 43-minute Void that's coming out on Defiler. It's a super interesting pickup.
But that's what kills him, right?
Yeah, I guess so. The auto attacks.
The right clicks, yeah, that's what kills him. If he just can sit in the fight with his ulti up, it's fine.
Uh-oh.
He's gonna pop
Defiler
too.
pops the ulti. We have Rally going hard on Magnus. Storm Spirit comes out to extend his life, and now Rally taking a lot of damage. Gets punched. By Corrupted Disciple gets punched. It's Mayhem in here. Torturer falls. FA is in the back, just ripping through Corrupted Disciple's HP. He's able to escape with 30 HP and the Shroud. Going to be able to live. It's Meraxis and team's still not able to complete objectives, but another team fight victory for Donava Brigada, increasing the net worth of their FA, who's sitting on 4,000 gold. Certainly going to be buying that Symbol of Rage as soon as he can finance the buyback on top of it. Sandstepter picked up on the Andromeda, no doubt trying to counter the Hellflower of Meraxis, who's sitting on 4,000 gold himself. 4,000 gold on Torturer. Okay. Little item swap. Defiler sells the Void, picks up a Blessed Orb. Can't commit to an item on this Defiler.
I mean, the Void wasn't a bad idea, but maybe he... I don't know. He can't pop both Void and Shrunken at the same time, right? So
yeah.
So he has to choose one.
Yeah, I feel like if he's worried about... if he's worried about dying to physical, he needs to buy an armor item. You know, maybe a Frost Field if he can get it, or even a... What's that other one I'm thinking of? The
okay, Magnus, look at the top.
Have you played? Oh, yep, Magnus. Getting caught out. Nice double stun.
Everybody's just gonna run away.
I'm sorry, I was in the shop.
It's fine.
Can't take my eyes away from the action for 1 second.
They were sitting on the hill. They 4-TP it in, sitting on the hill, ready to catch someone. And then Andrew popped his eye and they saw them. So random, and then it was like, nope, get out. And then nothing comes of it. Everybody's just so scared to make a mistake now.
We're approaching the 50-minute mark in this game, and look how close the stats are. I mean, these teams really just showing what Han can be at the highest level, where it's just 40 minutes of gameplay, and it's anybody's game. It makes... And this is just... What is this? Round... I can't even remember what round it is in the bracket, but we're not even into the winners bracket finals yet.
Oh, this is just semis.
Yeah, I mean... Both of these teams just honestly deserve a spot in the grand finals of this cycle, if not the whole tournament itself. It's not to even mention the current favorite of Team Tim, who will no doubt potentially show up against one of these teams and, you know, might get dethroned as well, from what I'm seeing on both of these sides right now.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they pull out in their games, because I'm guessing after this they're playing the other semi-final, right? Against Doghouse.
We've got the completed symbol on FA. Okay, yep. Look at the item that is picked up by Defiler, the Jade Spire. Okay. Interesting.
2 Jade Spires then in that team. Does that...
Yeah.
Does that... No, it's a solo thing. Yeah. In my head it was a aura, but no, it's a solo thing.
Let's get it on.
Maybe Defiler? I don't know.
I'm thinking it could be pretty clutch on Defiler. They do manage to get that tier 3 tower on Legion.
Sneaking it.
Defiler smokes up, pops the ulti, pushing forward, but...
Very early ulti pop.
Yeah, and he did it underneath the ward, so Legion is aware of it. Import to the other side of the map, just decide to get out. And Vora lingering around. There's a Sheepstick completed on Torturer. Not going to have buyback, but a finished Sheepstick. Okay, Defiler is going to manage to catch Magnus, who gets Compel Stunned into the Seismic Slam, going to fall very quickly.
He has no buyback, and he is a very strong hero when you're defending your high round.
Yeah, and actually, look at this. Yeah, Donava Brigada starting off the Kong on the opposite side of the map, so taking out the Legion Kong were extremely fast. I mean, FA just doing so much damage at this point. Undoubtedly going to get this.
Legion looking to take there.
Yeah, this is looking scary for them. Yeah, they're definitely
Can they?
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know if they can. I don't know if Corrupted Disciples got the damage for a. What Kong is this? Level 3 Kong? No, this would be Kong.
Yeah.
This would be Kong 4, I think.
It says 3, but I'm not sure what that means.
I think
It's
that's the
died 3
number
times?
of the number of buff. Yeah, he's died 3 times, so this is number 4, I think. Very strong Kong War. They're lingering here, but they can't really stay.
I thought Hellbourne would take their own Kong now, because Magnus is still dead. I mean, Nymphora is waiting in the base to bringing him in with him. They're gonna keep.
I think what I'm seeing here is Andromeda's got 25 seconds left on the eye use. I think they're waiting for the eye to be able to be used before they
can do it.
Yeah, they can deward the pit and then go. Because if there's no vision, there's no way that the Legion side can stop this Kong War. And but the question is, where does the token go? You know, FA is fully slotted. So
upside his boots, I guess.
I mean, but then you're walking around at 330 speed or whatever.
You have to walk slow. Though? You just stand still and right clicks.
That's true. I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah, they're gonna take it. I mean, either him or Defiler. Defiler, yeah,
Rally.
They both have.
So Rally gets it, picks up a Shrunken Head.
They put it on Rally.
Hmm?
Rally has token.
Yeah, Rally's got that token. I almost would have. I mean, Rally went for the Shrunken Head. Okay, we have initiation. Defiler, Storm Spirits, Nymphora. Put some auto attacks on her. Spirits are getting her. Deadwood clears the trees so that Defiler can finish her off. It's a big pick on Nymphora. She's dead for 65.
Yes, buyback, but I don't know.
That is a Defiler ulti that's committed for it, so she's not going to have that by the time Nymphora respawns. She decides to teleport mid.
Everybody's so split. Look at this.
Yeah. It's not something we normally see. Magnus.
No.
Look at Magnus in the trees over here. Okay. Smoked Meraxis. Deadwood and Forsaken Archer could potentially be getting surrounded. Magnus is not going to be able to connect a stun. But despite that, we've got a Shrouded Corrupted Disciple and a Meraxis. Going to catch a Deadwood here. Hellflower is out. That is a pick on Deadwood. Nymphora will be up in 23 seconds, can port anywhere her team needs her to be. $700 GPM on FA, by the way, just in case
anyone was wondering.
Yeah, 7,000 gold pulled up. There's a sheep stick picked up on Defiler, who resold it for a Resto Stone. Okay, here we go. Double Unholy Expulsion. Well, double duration. You can't pop it. Okay, spells it. Yeah, I never know with this guy. Stop doing it. Stop, puppet. Okay, stop it. It looks like we've committed to this. No, I'm done. I'm gonna take my eyes away from it, and I'm gonna wait 5 minutes from now. Then I'll talk about his items.
Demonic.
No, I'm not. I don't even believe it. It's still.
Don't believe you.
Not 15 seconds after he purchased it. I'm not committing.
I don't mind the Demonic.
No, I like it. Remember we talked about the fact that he bought Void earlier to try and live against these auto attacks? The story was that he needed armor, right, to be able to survive against auto attacks inside the duration of his Shrunken, so...
I mean, it's not just armor for him, but it's aura.
Right.
And it's also, so that means it's push, right?
Uh-huh. And it's bonus damage for FA, right? The cleave damage of FA, just, that minus armor aura.
In my eyes, it's just a pure push item. I mean, obviously it provides armor and stuff, but it's just a pure push item. Because they need to be able to push, and if his ulti is out, they can still push, because he has some sort of ticket to push or item or, yeah.
What a third game, though. We're starting to breach that 60-minute mark. That is actually fairly rare for Han matches, I think. 60-hour games are not usually seen in these games, but that kind of happens when we have these situations where both of these teams realize that one misplay can cost them the game at this point, and they really respect each other.
Rally gonna find Corrupted up here, gets his compel off, but he's not gonna be able to kill him. He's completely alone.
Oh, Rally. Okay, just dusts him, runs away. Pegasus boots picked up on Forsaken Archer, by the way.
Pegasus boots.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you were aware of that one. Builds up from post haste, allows you to port to a teammate, to a hero.
Oh, okay, so it's upgraded post haste.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, Forsaken Archer though, watch out. Meraxis and Magnus are here, but we've got Andromeda close behind. Whole team is about to be. This is about to be a 5v5 breaking out here. Forsaken Archer is going to get jumped on. She gets swapped out by Andromeda. Finds the time that she needs. It's a quick kill on Andromeda, but she's no longer in the game. Magnus though gets Sand Sceptered, going to fall very quickly. Manages to Lava Surge away, but unfortunately, Portal Key just not. Yeah, Torture in the top lane now. Is she going to get ported on?
Everybody ported on her.
She's going to walk into that ward. Wow, okay. That's a deep ward that Hellborn has. Scouting out this top lane, protecting against any kind of pushes that are starting to gather in that lane. I love that ward placement. It's really, really key at this point in the game.
And it doesn't get countered too. That's no win. No one's gonna
Not
find
without an eye, for sure.
Bottom lane, they're getting some push in here. There's the Void bot on Nymphora as well.
6,000 gold saved up on Corrupted Disciple.
The FA is 7.3. Like.
Yeah.
Oh, top.
Oh, yeah. Torture getting caught out by Rally. He's stuck. Yeah, stayed in the trees for too long. I saw him port it. Yeah, I saw him port there earlier. Whenever he was escaping, but I just assumed he was going to port out, but he actually lingered and got punished for it. He's got buyback, of course, but.
I mean, and the lanes are so pushed in. Like Hellborn can't even push. Like they're struggling to keep their lanes up, and not just the bottom lane, which is obvious because there's a Rax down, but the mid lane too is just in the middle. He's pushing with his illusions on the Filer. That's pretty decent, but such a whoever wins the next fight, dude. It's just Hellborn has no buybacks almost. It's only FA.
Okay, Defiler goes hard on Magnus and is getting ported to by FA. So FA and Defiler are here on Magnus. Magnus, not a chance. Nymphora, kind of in the danger zone, but enemy team is not aware of her position. She's going to walk over this ward, though.
Going to cut the creeps, that's what she's going to do.
Now Rally doubles back. She's not as clever as she thinks she is because Andro's here. Here comes the Compel Stun and to the Seismic Slam, and she's gone. So it's 2 heroes down. Going to be forced to commit buybacks if FA and Defiler decide to go uphill here.
They might. They might.
Corrupted Disciple. Meraxis in the bottom lane. Both have ports ready. Meraxis is porting home. Defiler. Yep, Forsaken Archer. Taking out this mid lane barracks now. Gets stunned out by Meraxis. They go hard on her. She's got the Shrunken Head and the symbol ready. Corrupted Disciple putting an auto attack. She gets swapped out. Short range swap, but here comes the symbol. She's coming back up. Corrupted Disciple on the other hand falls. Forced to buy back.
It immediately.
But that's what they want. That's what this game is starting to come down to. At this stage in the game, it's all about buyback exhaustion.
Yeah, and they're running out of them on the Legion team. There's no more on Nymphora, and that was. Sorry, that was one of the 2 from Corrupted. As dogs whining here.
Meraxis gets caught out. Getting very low very quickly, ends up falling. Nymphora gets caught as well. Was that a attempted port play that was thwarted?
Might have been, yeah. I did not see. They TP'd top to place a ward. No, that ward has been there. There's the Hellborn ward, yeah, on the bottom area of the Kong pit.
It's just all falling apart now.
It's falling apart for Legion.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're certainly not out of it, but
I think they know Nymphora has no buybacks because she's used 2 of them. But they don't know if Meraxis has one. They're going to jump mid. Here we go.
Yeah, we got a quick kill on Deadwood. Rally getting ported on. Manages to get the double Seismic Slam. FA is here, throwing in auto attacks on Torture and Corrupted Disciple. Torture is going to fall to the Unholy Expulsion. Corrupted Disciple falls as well. Is going to have a buyback, but what can he do with no team support? There is a buyback on Torture as well. but it's 2v4, and FA feels like he's enough to be able to take on both.
Here comes the creeps.
Defiler jumps in, throws down the silence, but now it's just Rax, and no buybacks left on Busk. But he does buy a Spike Bola. Forsaken Archer, this is
second
Rax. Defiler gonna jump in, just push them away. Torture gets caught. Full lockdown mode. It's gonna fall very quickly. Has another buyback. He's gonna buy back, forced to burn it, but just so many tools that he has to dodge on the Hellborn side. Andromeda gets gone up, but look how tanky the Andromeda is. Moraxis with the double stun, comes in hard on FA. Andromeda falls, FA, a little bit of an overextension. Saving grace. Is it enough though? 12,000 gold.
Yeah.
What in the world?
Starting a bank.
8,000 on Defiler. I've never seen this kind of deep pockets. Just buys back instantly.
Yeah.
Just saying, you know what? Yeah, I still got another buyback. I can finance another item.
10 seconds for the Defiler ulti,
Buys,
and then we're gonna push mid.
What did he buy? Did he buy a corrupted sword or?
Probably. I did not see.
Oh, we've got action. Forced a shrunken head. Yeah, forced a shrunken head out.
He forced him himself.
Got a buyback from Andromeda. Legion deciding that we have to make it happen here, which is true. They just can't. They can't stand up to FA anymore. Not with these buybacks. They have to make a play. No buybacks on 3 of their heroes, 2 of them being their most farmed cores.
Another Kong core.
Yeah, deciding to go for Kong. Kong number 4, or number 5 rather.
5, yeah. Jeez. I love this split pushing Nymphora.
60 minutes. In the game.
1-minute mark, yes.
Pegasus boots picked up on Defiler. Kongor ends up falling, but FA here deciding bot lane is the place to be.
Meanwhile, top.
Rally, watch out, Rally. This is a picked Rally. Gets Blink Sheepstick. Defiler deciding to allow Rally to die, but
he
meantime,
can't go in there, I think. No.
FA
trying to split this.
Yeah.
But I mean, Legion can't lose these racks. Like, they've lost 2. They can't lose these racks.
Oh, here comes Magmas. Gets Blink stunned by Andromeda. FA ports back. They want to make it happen here. Defiler. Blink Storm Spear is corrupted. Corrupted Disciple able to walk away from the piercing volley.
Ooh, this is looking...
Pushing forward. This is the ideal situation, honestly, for the Legion side. They've got 4 versus 3, but still not willing to commit.
It would have been a good place to turn, I think, because Hellborn just popped all their spells. Could have been a good place for them to just turn around and kill them, because they were all the way out as well, but didn't choose to do so. Oof, everybody is so careful, and I don't blame them. It's so tense. As you said earlier, one mistake and it's gone.
This game is just I don't even know. I mean, it's like you're saying, you know, both these teams just treading on eggshells. They just understand the stakes of one misstep.
Like, Legion is not even daring to do like a sneaking Nymphora port because they're scared it's gonna backfire and then they just lose.
And it's happened, right? I mean, not every single port that they've thrown down this game has been a successful one. They have definitely ported into the enemy team by mistake more than one time.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes, you know, it's as powerful as a tool as it is. Sometimes it seriously backfires. Rally, though, might find a stun combo on Torturer. Here we go. Beautiful stuff. Half HP is the Torturer. Here comes FA, throwing in auto attacks. Torturer gonna fall. No, not quite. He's still alive. Dealing damage. He's gonna fall now, but here's Meraxis, completely surrounded. Tanky as you are, Meraxis, I don't think it's gonna work out. So now they know.
Torturer is dead, I think.
Yep, Torturer is dead for 80 seconds.
No buyback, so yeah.
We got a buyback on Meraxis, but are they going to catch somebody? Corrupted Disciple.
Magnus.
And Magnus making a play for these Raxes right here. Pressuring the barracks, but
Corrupted is coming as well. He wants to help or take
Hellborn. Okay. Yeah, there's no backdoor protection here in the mid lane because Magnus is there with the creep wave.
Father TP'd back. Meraxis bought back. Here we go, mid lane. Gonna catch onto him, Silence. It's a lot of damage.
It's just, they take the top Brax, but Forsaken Archer is here in the bottom lane, just quickly threatening the mega creep situation. Shrunken headed up. Yeah. Melee barracks down. Now it's just the ranged barracks. Forcing. Here we go, we've got Compel. Forsaken gets compelled out. Putting heavy damage on an M4 of Meraxis. She gets interrupted, but swapped out. Meraxis falls. Forsaken Archer tanks a Spike Bola, but there's the explosion on a Corrupted Disciple's face. He is out of the game. And a pause. Perhaps a misclick. Seems like it's probably a mistaken click. Probably going for the CC vote, I think. But not a bad call to that end, honestly, because it does look like it is all but finished here in Game 3 after 64 minutes. We've got DB, the Nova Brigada, taking Game 3. Eyes on the World Tree. 30%, 10%. It's finished. The Nova Brigada going to the next round after a fantastic showing, and honestly, just a fantastic series on both sides.
Yeah.
Taking a game off of each other in Game 1 and 2, and then in a similar fashion, just